Hey, this is Blake from the Gig Harbor Fly Shop. Today we are going to be tying Sandflea's Gringo Tarpon fly. And this is a really cool fly that Sandflea taught me how to tie when I was hanging out with him just a little bit back in Holbox, Mexico. We recently had Sandflea on our podcast, and there's a video interview of that on our YouTube channel, so check that out. And this is a great fly. So a lot of times with tarpon flies, the flies are tied on a pretty stout hook because of the clear water around Holbox and just the conditions. The fish seem to be a little bit more spookier, or it's a little bit more technical, and so they like to fish a lighter wire hook. And maybe something a little bit smaller than what I've been used to. So we're going to be tying on an SC15 1/0 hook. We're going to be, for the tail, we're going to be just using some white rabbit strips. We'll actually punch a little hole through the tail and run some 30-pound mono through that to keep the tail from fouling around the hook. We're going to use some baitfish emulator flash in pink. They call it fluorescent hot pink, but it looks more like bubblegum pink to me. We're going to put some white marabou palmered around it as well. And then for the head, we're going to spin a little bit of white deer hair, and then Sandflea would put a little bit of red. This is one of his flies. A little bit of red deer hair on it as well. But we're going to actually substitute it for this pearly red ripple ice fiber. It's a really cool, crinkly, flashy material that. And the pearly one comes in like this solid color that it kind of looks like the deer hair. So it's pretty cool stuff. Okay, so let's jump into it. Okay, we're gonna take some 30-pound mono, and that's gonna get that's just gonna get tied in along the hook. I already cut my rabbit to length, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to punch a hole in the back of the rabbit, run this mono up through it to create a loop, and then that loop will keep that rabbit tail from fouling under the hook. I need to decide where I want to put the punch, so I think I'm going to do it about right there. Doesn't have to be 30-pound, but it just needs to be thick enough that it's not going to let that rabbit move around. Okay, that loop is going to be just right where the hole is. So I'm pulling that mono a little bit tight right there. I don't want to go in anywhere, so I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of Loon UV. Okay, I'm going to tie my baitfish emulator in pink. Doesn't need to be, it's probably about just half of it that I'm going to tie in. And then I'm going to tie in my white marabou. Don't need a lot of it. I'm going to tie it in at the tip. hammer that a couple times. Okay, now for the white deer hair. Just point out some of the fluff underneath. Keeps it a little bit loose. Let's see if he ties it in. It's not fine packed like a bass bug. He likes to just kind of flare it to give it it's just to help push some water. Creates some buoyancy too, so the fly doesn't sink very much, and it's a fairly shallow water fly. Okay, then he usually ties in the red deer hair, but we're going to use this pearly red ripple ice fiber, and it's kind of long, so we're just gonna chop it a little bit. I'm going to keep the ones on the bottom really short, but the stuff on the top I'm going to keep a little bit longer. And I'm going to trim it up a little bit more, but I'm going to finish the fly off first. There it is. There's Sandflea's Gringo fly inspired by his buddy Petito, Pat. So I wish I was hanging out with those guys right now in Holbox, but soon, maybe soon. Hey, materials are in the description below. You can also buy the material kit to tie all of these flies up, and make sure you subscribe to get all the updates on new stuff that we have coming out. Thanks.